Welcome back, crypto crew. Everything today comes down to one number and one number alone. And that number is what is going to be the ISM print for today. It needs to come in hot. It needs to come in hot, above 50, above consensus. If that happens, we get risk on, we get liquidity, we get the short squeeze, we got speculation returning, and crypto will finally begin to wake up. I mean, it's lagging, it's crazy. If this number doesn't, the market is going to stay stuck because right now crypto is not conforming to the macro census, and that is a problem. And I'm going to show you in this video exactly why it's a problem. So welcome back, crypto crew. It's your boy. I'm here bringing you the latest in Bitcoin and crypto action. If you like what you see, make sure you give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you have not already, and make sure you come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. And I can't yell into this mic, so yell it and scream it in your head because we are cryptomaniacs. And what else? The information that we give you is like an adrenaline shot on steroids, and you always leave with a triple shot cappuccino. All right, let's get right into it. Actually, before we actually jump right into this, what I want to talk to you about is what? Hey, you're always looking for trades, right? You're always looking for setups, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're not the only games in the town. We actually trade 45 different asset classes. I'm going to take you over to our precision dashboard, profits precision. Right now, last month, we had a $61,639 profit. Okay, we're trading at 68.42%. Not only that, we do give out discount levels in our pro group, okay? And I gotta find my discount levels. I'll show you that a little bit later in the video. But right now, as it stands, 68.42, we haven't taken any trades recently because they have not met our criteria. We do not have any type of fear of missing out. We are professional traders. If you're just watching this from the sidelines and you're not getting involved in our pro group, you're missing out. You're totally missing out. So I suggest link in the description, jump in. It's completely free to join. All right, let's get into what's going on in Bitcoin today, the macro setup. All right, so look at this. All right, let's check out the S&P 500. Let's look at the crypto market cap. Let's look at the crypto market, excluding Bitcoin. What do you notice in this chart? S&P is rising. Now, the Nasdaq itself, I'm just going to use the this chart right here, the NDQ, right, to show that, right? But look at this movement. We predicted this movement perfectly. This is what should be happening with Bitcoin. It is not. It is not. This is what's so confusing to us. Now, we're going to break it down. We're going to try to figure out exactly what's happening. But if you look at the total, if we compare the S&P, the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin, okay, what we're seeing right now is we got the, S&P really rising very nicely. We got the Nasdaq doing the same thing. Total crypto right now is trying to base. Total excluding Bitcoin also is moving same exact way, obviously. It's trying to find a base. But Bitcoin itself, if we look at Bitcoin is like in the doldrums, man. Like no tailwinds at all. What is going on? Now, I saw yesterday, I was reading some of our comments on X. Found it completely interesting because they're like saying that we're always wrong or whatever they were saying. I'm looking at them going like, I don't understand where they're coming up with this. Obviously, they're not watching the full video. Okay, because we said yesterday, I'm going to get into it later today, is that there is one chart that's showing two different possibilities. Now, if you guys or gals have charts that show only one possibility that's 100% correct, I suggest that you get into our trading tournament. Get in there and go and actually kill it. Please, come on. We're looking for you. Forget about these prizes. These prizes are worthless. All right. What you want is access to Merlin Traders Whale Group. Do you have your own whale group? I doubt it. Well, you're looking for OTC deals? Yeah, well, we got them. You're looking at access to investor accounts? We got them. So listen, you're talking a big game? Get in there. All right, enough of that. Let's go on over to what I was talking about myself. I lost my train of thought. I get a little bit agitated with those comments. Agita, as they say in Italian. All right, anyway, if we look at this, which is actually not a true Italian word. That's like an Italian American thing. Agitato. That's not really grammatically correct in Italian. Again, another piece of useless trivia, but I'll present it to you. So right now we look at this. We got the S&P rising. We got the crypto market cap that's trying to base. Bitcoin lagging, not confirming, definitely not leading. Okay, not responding. There is a lot of divergence going on. Now, in a healthy bull phase, right, stocks would lead. Bitcoin follows, and altcoins eventually will move and explode. That's the sequence. Right now, step two is broken. Equities are doing their job. Okay. Liquidity is improving. Bitcoin isn't. That tells you something's off. Either smart money is quietly loading, or there is hidden stress in the system, and divergences don't last. They resolve either up or down. That's what we've been saying. Now, I believe that the ISM is going to be a major catalyst today. If one of our subscribers said, look at the Chicago PMI number, it came in wildly hotter than expected. Let's hope the ISM does the same thing. Now we know hope is not a strategy, so we're going to actually prepare to trade in either direction, all right, up or down. However, there is something going on. Now, as I said, is there hidden stress in the system, or is it big money quietly accumulating? I happen to believe that it's that. I happen to believe that the big boys are actually we're still trying to shake people out, freak people out because they want your coin. I've been saying it all along. You got a lot of sharks that are swimming in the water right now. You got BlackRock, you got Vanguard, you got Fidelity that's coming in, you got Goldman Sachs, you got JP Morgan. They're all coming in and they're looking to control everything. We warned you about this for months, for months. Did I think they were actually going to be able to drive Bitcoin down to this level? And honestly, I didn't. I was looking at all the good things. I was looking at them as a good thing coming into the marketplace, actually offering, the ability to stabilize price. Um, well, they shook the tree. They actually did. So really what we got to do is we got to look at institutional rotation. All right. So now if we look at this, I'm going to take you back to this chart right here, where we're going to look at the NDQ and Bitcoin itself. But I'm going to point to something I read that JP Morgan said that while the Mag 7 dominated retail activity through 2025, all major investors began diversifying. So money is rotating. So the overall market breadth is improving, and that's normally bullish for crypto. Now Goldman Sachs says there are three risks. We got data center ROI, we got oversupply, we got midterm regulation. But they also say we do not expect the first two to drive a sell-off in crypto. So what the heck is going on? Now, our preferred angle is companies efficiently implementing AI. So that's basically their cap to the whole thing. They're saying that they believe that companies are now efficiently implementing AI. So institutions are rotating, capital is moving, risk is spreading out. Again, this should help crypto, but it isn't, which brings us back to divergence. Brings us back to the crazy divergence that's going on. So what's going on? Now, originally we talked about silver, right? Where's my silver chart? I gotta pull my silver chart up. Hang on one second. Let me get my silver chart. Now, if we look at metals, okay, silver went completely vertical. I have never seen a marketplace go completely vertical, then consolidate. Now, okay, I'm sure there are some examples of it, but I can't recall in the annals of my mind any type of market that went completely vertical and consolidated. Mostly when you go completely vertical, you come down. back finding equilibrium. So we're thinking like silver can basically come back down to maybe, 45 bucks. But we're not trading silver here right now. But the point is this: if we look at metals, silver went vertical. Now there's a fund in China that actually was trading at a 42% premium. It traded 38 billion. Okay, SVL traded 38 billion, 42% premium in China. That is tulip mania style. Nothing against the guys in the Netherlands or anything, but that was tulip mania. All right. So anyway, that is capital being sucked away from markets. Now, when metals actually do this, they pull money away from other, risk assets, such as good old Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the rest of the market. But when metals blow off, again, we're saying crypto basically stalls. Every cycle, we're seeing it again. So this is also what has attributed to like maybe the muteness of Bitcoin, or Bitcoin actually stalling. Today is the day, man. We need to see something today. We actually need to see it recover. Now, when I get into the short-term charts, I'm gonna go over that on the 4 hours. We can actually see that we have not broken last year's low yet. That is a very good sign. But I digress. If we look as far as, remember I introduced you to the Buzz, the SPX. Where's my Buzz? Right here, Buzz SPX a while back. We can look at this. Look at this. This could be the missing link. Okay, it's because the Buzz SPX tracks speculation. It tracks Bitcoin, and it's still very weak, meaning retail isn't back. That's for sure. A lot of retail got completely destroyed in this whole thing, so hopefully they do come back. They're our guys, our people that follow us, they're retail, but you know what? They're smart traders. They probably joined our pro group, or they should join our pro group. But really, right now, leverage isn't back. Risk appetite is not back yet. So Bitcoin stays muted. We need to have a good ISM number. That would be a good catalyst. No, final confirmation is, we should be looking at the Russell. So where's my Russell chart? Hang on, let me find it. The chart I have is Russell against the Ethereum itself. Now, here's the thing, but I'm really interested in the Russell, which is white. Okay. So we're saying the Russell basically has started to break out. Historically, Russell breakouts equal Bitcoin and Ethereum breakouts. Russell and Ethereum are closely correlated, but look at what Ethereum has done. Unbelievably sold off. And I'm going to get into Ethereum. Ethereum. If you don't know what's being built on Ethereum, you're asleep. You need to wake up. Ethereum, really, this is at a great, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it's really at an incredibly discounted level. But we'll get into that later in the video. So if Russell runs and Bitcoin doesn't, there's a warning here, a big one. Crypto has to respond soon, or credibility is going to start to break. I mean, I'm completely confused about it. Okay, just okay, but I'm not the brightest, sharpest tool in the shed anyway. I'm just a day trader. But really, I mean, I'm looking at all this macro stuff and I'm saying, what is going on? So really, let's get into Bitcoin on the short-term chart so we can go step by step. We'll look at the 4 hour. Bitcoin 4 hour chart. Okay, as it stands right now, major point, right, was last year's low before we made the highs of 126 odd, sitting right around 64. Maybe that's a Freudian slip. 74,000 like six. We have not broken that. That is a good sign for the bulls. Now, here it is. If we get a good, remember what we said before, yesterday's video. I said there's a 13, or I think it was yesterday's video. We have like a 13 to 1 short out there. So the leverage is there's a lot of Bitcoin bearish shorts. So if we can get a good ISM number, we have a chance to actually start triggering those and rallying Bitcoin back up over 84. That would be quite interesting right now. So if it could do that, it could show some like strength, some legs, then we could start to say we can get another reconsolidation and we could figure out exactly, where we're headed for sure. Now, right now, the path is still slightly lower. However, by holding the 74,006 is a good sign. So right now, let's talk about right now. I would be looking, so we're down to 75. This is still the level we got to get over. I'd say 78. I'd actually come down a little bit. I would say 78. 5. That's good. We need to actually pop above this level. This is a 2-hour chart. Sorry, as I said, 4-hour chart. We need to pop above this level and hold this level. If I go to a 4-hour chart, it's not going to be much different. But let's just look at it. Okay, so here we are. Look at that. Well, a little bit different of a look. We need to get above this level right here, 78.5. If we could hold and close above 78.5, we got a good chance of drifting upward towards the meridian of this pitchfork at 82. That would be a stretch right now, unless the ISM comes in. If it comes in above 50, woo-hoo, it's going to actually trigger. People look to get out of Bitcoin shorts before they get liquidated on the heat maps, right? So anyway, that's what we're looking at short term. However, if it comes in muted, again, in other words, a number that comes in at consensus, we are going to stay in the doldrums and potentially try to attack the lower level of 74. That's basically it. We've said it before. Okay, there's two charts, right? Two charts basically telling the story of two different things. The bear flag pattern, we have the last support right here. If that breaks, we're looking at a target of 65. We have also the Wyckoff accumulation versus the bear flag. Now we're going to say which wins. Okay, liquidity, right? Not vibes, not narratives, liquidity. So here it comes the ISM. The ISM again needs to come in high. It needs to come in above 50. All right, if it does what Chicago did, like just shock everybody, woo, man, is it going to be a wild day in Bitcoin and crypto and actually stocks. Everything is going to be wild. So, also that would actually help cool what that bad boy bond market. Where's my bond chart? Oh, I must have took it away. But anyway, so as it stands right now, that's what we're sitting at. That's what we're looking at. So we have two charts point into completely different directions. Now, again, one more time, ISM is the trigger. Okay, above 50, the 13 to 1 shorts get squeezed, forced buying starts, momentum ignites. Below, downside remains open. All right, so if we look at a structural reset in Bitcoin, we could look at right here, we could actually say retest, retest, major demand. What Bitcoin always does is always like a structural retest. 2017, 2018, blow off, reset, expansion. Same thing. We're retesting, same zone, same behavior. Okay. This one actually goes down a little bit deeper. It goes down to the 61 level. I don't know. But it's there. Look, technically it's there. Okay. So I'm not talking on both sides of my mouth. I'm just saying technically it's there. Now, we gave some dollar cost averaging for Bitcoin in our pro group. This is something we also do for them. We gave these out weeks in advance. We just didn't come up with this now. We had a $75,000 cost averaging right now that was hit. We also have one down at 68,000. So this is something that we do for our pro group members. Let me clean this chart up. Merlin will flip out. I showed don't tell Merlin I showed the prices on the side. But right now, 75,000 hit. The next dollar cost averaging level is down 68,000. All right. I don't know. But if we look at the good old rainbow chart, the Bitcoin rainbow chart, let me redo this chart for you so it doesn't look so messy. We are sitting in the blue and the purple zone, and historically, this is opportunity. This is accumulation. This is where we've bounced continuously before. Up in the red is the blow off, which is a lot higher than we are right now or have ever been. So keep that in mind right now. With the rainbow is saying Bitcoin could go up to 248,000, which is possible in the long term. We'll have to see. But right now, we are definitely in a strong accumulation zone for Bitcoin. So let's move on over to Ethereum and check out what's going on in Ethereum. And we can break it all down on the Ethereum 2-hour or 4-hour. All right, the Ethereum 4-hour chart. Right now, Ethereum is, you could say it's actually a little bit stronger than Bitcoin. We had some quiet accumulation so far. We have not drifted to the major psychological level of 2000. We've been holding. Ethereum needs to get above 2,345. If it does, its next level hurdle to get over is 2,500. If we recover the 2,500 area, let's say if we recover right in here, okay, we're going to be looking, Ethereum be building a base actually to come back and try to attempt to 2,800. If this ISM comes in weak, um, then Ethereum is drifting down towards the $2,000 psychological level, and the major point below that is around 1,800. Now, Ethereum itself, I have to say that it's touching a master trend line. I'm going to look at Ethereum right here. If you look at the rainbow, all right, right now we're sitting right at the master support line right here. It's held many, many times before. Ethereum, if you don't know what's being built on Ethereum, you got to research it. Ethereum is way, way, in my opinion, way into a discount area right now. That's just my opinion. You have to trade, according to your own analysis. But really, I'm thinking Ethereum is really undervalued for sure. If we look at Ethereum, we're thinking Ethereum's going, actually, I think Ethereum's going to 20,000. But right now, as it stands, what we're looking at, we got support at major, major supports uh, at where's the level? Right at say 2,200. Okay, we're there. It's so far it's been holding. Now we need to break above, but when we broke above 4,000, yes, we got to get above 5,100 for the breakout itself. So far, Ethereum really has been underwhelming, that's for sure. But again, it could be because the big boys are actually muting this and they're actually holding the line, right? I got to get rid of that short right there. All the prices flashing my FOREX prices. But right now, we're thinking Ethereum could rally to 10,000 overall. I'm thinking Ethereum is going to 18,000. There's so much. Now, it's not happening overnight, obviously, but I think Ethereum, there's so many things being built on Ethereum right now, and it should actually take off. So, really, if we look at this chart itself, we could say, okay, the 1,500 level originally held, 2,200 is holding right now. We broke through 4,000. Yes. We have a compression that's going on that eventually should release and break us up to 10,000, should break us up to 10,000. So if we look at Ethereum as far as being in like a demand zone, Ethereum weekly, nice into the discount area right now. So we got to hold this, then we can get potential expansion. We lose it, we're getting a retest of the like say 1,800 level, then potentially even down to 15. I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. But hey, I didn't see us really being down at this level either. So let's move on over to good old Bitcoin dominance, which is what? Unchanged. Okay, right now Bitcoin is the star of the show. Major institutions are focused in on it. Even retail is focused in on it. Bitcoin's not the only star of the show. That is for sure. It is definitely not the only star of the show. If you look at, what we're trading in, you could see the coins that we took, XRP, we had a short on, we had a short on Link, we had a short on Solana, we had a short on, long on Bitcoin, we squeezed out a long on Bitcoin. There's a lot of different coins that you can trade, and so it's not the only game in town. However, it's the most important game in town, right? It basically is the store of value and what everybody looks at. So if you don't have any ideas, come on over to our pro group. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But anyway, as it stands right now, Bitcoin dominance, alt season on hold. It's not there yet. Okay. We'll let you know when we start to see some sparks of altcoin season. However, there are some opportunities in good utility coins. We've been saying that for a while. You got to get yourself in good utility coins. And as I'm talking about that, let me take you over, show you how you could join our pro group. You click this link right here. You'll be taken over to our Telegram trading community where we actually offer insane alpha trading opportunities every day. We're trading over 45 different asset classes. You have to get into our Go Global trading tournament. Okay. And now here's an idea. Why not use our own trades against us? Don't like our setup? Take the other side of it. go ahead, get involved. If you want to go it alone, you click this link, you'll be taken over to WeX. Through our link, you'll be offered some really good bonuses. BTCC, low fees, fast execution. This is where actually our trading tournament's being held. BTCC was kind enough to actually sponsor us. Really cool. Help support them. Get involved in the trading group. It'll really, really be good. Make sure you give me a like. Make sure you hit subscribe, okay, and share my videos with your friends because it helps the channel. All right, so let's move on over to good old altcoins. All right, so as we're sitting right now, altcoin season, so some coins are, starting to break out, starting to try to break out of the wedge. We need a good ISM number today, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so as we close off the video today, what can we say? We can say that stocks are rocking. They're improving. Institutions definitely rotating. Liquidity, well, it's got to be building because it's in the stock markets. I mean, it's here. If we look at the NDQ, I mean, it is here. Liquidity is here. Russell doing well. Okay, Ethereum lagging. So, I mean, Bitcoin lagging. That's the story. It's not hype. It's not fear. We got to trade what we see. Also, I just got to say, I may not be able to do a video tomorrow because I'm going to be traveling back up to the home base, and I might not be able to squeak one out. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do it, but I may not be able to do it. So just keep that in mind. That's why I gave you, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to end this video on some dollar cost averaging notes for you guys. So if I don't do a video, you can see what we're giving out in a pro group, and you may like prod you to join. So let me give you some dollar cost averaging for different coins. Hang on one second. Let me pull that up for you. I already showed you this chart, so we're going to be starting off with Bitcoin dollar cost averaging 75,000. Could have bought some at 80. Actually, everything's actually a little bit cheaper right now, so it's below 80 to 80,500, and we have a lower level at 68,000 DCA levels. Bitcoin. All right. What else? We got dollar cost averaging for the XRP army out there. All right, 161 is a level that we got. It's trading right out there right now. Lower level of a buck 27, and the ultimate level at just under a dollar at 99 cents, and also a level at 210. So those are dollar cost averaging levels for XRP. H bar, one of our little favorites. Okay, we got dollar cost averaging levels right here: 10, 14, 07, 04. So right there, we're sitting right on one of our dollar cost averaging levels right now. All right, now everybody likes Solana, right? Everybody loves Solana. Here's Solana, 89, 107, and 136.10, and lower level at 53. So you might want to mark those down or tell your friends about them. Now, these are levels that we give out weeks before actually happen. We can calculate these weeks before. So we're not just coming up with these levels. This is another perk that you get in our pro group. Free, okay? Free pro group. All right. So as we wrap up the video, folks and ladies and gentlemen and germs, what do you got to do? Well, you got to come on over. You got to follow us on X. What else you got to do? Well, you got to do your own research. As you know, I am a trader just like you. I am not a financial analyst. I don't offer any type of financial advice. I trade with you, want to come out, hang out, have a coffee, and we'll trade together anytime, any place. What else you got to do? Well, you got to join our free pro group. What else you got to do? Well, all you like loudmouths out there, you noisemakers, get into our global trading tournament, okay? Um, yes, you need to do that, okay? You big noisemakers, do it. All right. Now, what else you got to do? Well, you got to join our pro group, as I said. And what else you got to do? Well, as a short-term trader, you got to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you the following day when I make it back to the headquarters. Cheers.